Well, Markee Dragon also knows Marcus Eikenberry in real life, and welcome to Eve. We are going to talk about how to convert your loyalty points into ISK, and what the tiers matter, and how much money you can make from it. Considering that Minmatar sucks ass so bad right now, in fact, I can't believe how bad it is. They just lost their last system. They had Evita as their last system, and they just lost it. It is a total travesty. They are at 0.2%, and that's with that last system. Now that they've lost it, they are going to be at 0% as soon as that's done. So does that mean, so they're in tier 1, which means that when they make, 2,500 LP on a site, that myself in tier 4 MR, that I've been making 12,500. I've been making five times as much. And so, but here's how the markets work. With the MAR right now earning so much LP, what's happening is all the special faction items that are worth so much are being depressed. And so the market is being flooded, so the prices are going down, and it's causing the LP to not be worth as much right now. And so what I'm doing is I'm saving all of mine. I got 3.5 million LP or so, which 3.6 million. I earned another 140,000 today, and I will be able to convert that into basically about 7 billion ISK. But I can't do it today, because today it's worth maybe 1,100 ISK per LP, and so if I wait for the market conditions to be right, it will be worth much, much more. It'll be worth about 2,000 ISK per LP. And I was looking last night on my Galante character that has about 500,000 LP that is ready to be spent on anything. And because I was trying to get some more money, and I'm actually running out of money. I've been spending so much money on ships, and I'm just saving this LP because you got to wait for the right time, which could be as long as a year on how long you have to wait in order to get it, the biggest bang for the buck. Otherwise, if I were to spend my LP right now that I've gotten with Amar, 1,100 is probably what I would average. I did about a month ago do a conversion in Jita where we converted 1 million LP, and it cost. I had to put 1.5 million ISK in with it for product. And then over the next 13 days, I made sure I was the lowest price on all of those items, and I did come out okay. I made 1.5 billion in profit. So, not bad. That's almost 2plex. So, not too bad. And on a good day, in MR, tier 4, I may earn 300, 400,000 LP, and, you can times that by 2,000 and get the kind of numbers that I expect to get out of it. But, okay, so going back to Minmatar, what are we looking at here? Because they are sucking so bad, which means that nobody is getting LP in there right now. Does that mean that the market is going wild on those items? Let's find out. So that's what I want to find out. Okay, so a couple of sites referencing. If you're watching this on YouTube, there's some links in the description. If you're watching this live on Twitch, there are links underneath the video. And this is okay. So faction warfare site. This is important. So this is a faction warfare site. There is no 0 status for Minmatar now that they've lost their last one. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. I'll send you some duct tape. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, I think it's the first time in history that that one of the sides has lost every single sector or system. I think it's the first time in history for that. I don't know. But anyway, so here's the different tiers. And these tiers equal how much, what the modifier is on the LP that you're earning. And so, what is it? So on a small, at tier 1, it's about 5,000. So if you're in Caldari and you do a small offensive, you're going to get about 5,000 LP. If you're a MAR, you get 43,750 or whatever. Anyway, it's just incredible. It's a 5 times increase. So my numbers may not be 100% right there, but I do know it's a 5 times increase. And okay, so there's that right there. Now we have this site right here, Fuzzworks, and Fuzzworks I shall put here in Twitch chat, and this is linked below the video. So okay, so Fuzzworks is it's another player-made site, and so we've got our different factions here, and so these are all the different factions that are available. There's a lot here. So, if you're doing, Sisters of Eve missions or whatnot, you can even look through at your loyalty points in here and figure stuff out. I like doing Sisters of Eve stuff. Their ships are sexy. So, okay, in 24th Imperial Crusade is is Amar. Let's start there. We're going to go Amar, Minmatar, Caldari, Galante. And it's just because that's what order I wrote these down in. So, okay, Amar, 24th Imperial Crusade. We're going to look at the Forge, which is Jeddah. That's where 90% of all commerce happens. And so you can look elsewhere, but if you want to move this at any rate of volume, go there. If you have extras, then farm it out to the other sub-hubs. But I always gauge this off of Jeddah because Jeddah is kind of the primary driver in the marketplace. So you select sell prices, not buy prices. You select sell prices. You could do the buy prices, and then if you converted it right away, I'm just thinking about this. If you converted it right away, you went and looked for buy orders that were up right now and took it immediately there and sold it. The problem, though, is somebody might be willing to pay something really high, and by the time you get there, someone may have already fulfilled that order. So you might get stuck with it. That has happened to me. I commonly carry a whole bunch of the station warehouse containers. They are very, very large. You can fit only 11 of them in a freighter, and they're just huge. And that's with all the cargo expanders, which makes your trip less secure. And but I do see occasionally that people put up these buy orders of 2 million, 3 million, 5 million, even 10 million, because they're at a station where there aren't any for sale and they want some, and they don't have anything to transport it. And so instead of buying one someplace and then paying somebody to transport it over there, they just put up a buy order and hope that somebody has the ability to transport it, will take it there. I've done that before, and I have arrived after a half hour of travel to find that someone had already filled the order. Yeah. So, half hour wasted. Oh, let me take all this shit back home. So, anyway, I look at sell prices because I am going to sell. Okay, so in the site here, we want to do a couple of things. One is we want to change it to be...
Welcome to the Dragons.
We want to change it to be 100 entries. And then we're going to click over here on the ISK per LP. We're going to click it twice so that the highest thing here shows first. Now, right here, the very first thing says Imperial Navy 100mm reinforced steel plates, that someone bought one for 60 million, and that is a 57,866 ISK per LP conversion. Now, what has really happened here is that some idiot bought it when it had an extra couple of zeros on it, and they were either very desperate or they were not paying attention to the price that they paid. One of those two. This, being a 1 score here on the 5% of volume, is an anomaly. Ignore it. Do not look at anything. Do not look at anything in there. Okay, so here we have, right in here, we have this Zano Gypsy signature analysis. And one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up a character in Jeddah because we need to be able to look at these in Jeddah at the same time. That character was not in Jeddah, So, and I don't want to fly them over. So let me see, what other character do I have at Jita? I do have another character here at Jita, and I shall bring that up. So we're going to basically look and see what's at Jita and identify what's real and what's not. So there's a little bit of art to it, and but I'm going to show you how to do it so that you don't get screwed. In my video where I show myself converting all of that ISK, or all of the stuff, I actually bought some things that were not a good deal. So, okay, so here's a character I have in Jita. This is one I've not really shown very much before. And I'm going to bring up the marketplace here. If I can figure out the new symbols. There we go. Okay, so here is our marketplace stuff. And we're going to go back over to the website. So this is right here. It says that 25 of these is 5% of the volume, which means that 500 of them in a day. It doesn't seem right. We're gonna look at this. So we're gonna search for this item. You can copy and paste straight out of that site, and it usually gets them right. So okay, there's not very many for sale, and the buy orders are 350,000, and they're selling at about 2 million. So maybe the market is sitting really high right now. Let's take a look. It is. Look at this. They normally sit here in the 600 to 700,000 range, and then right at the end here, they've gone way up. So let's look at today's stuff. So the average is 515,000. So the average here, somebody paid 3 million for one, and it's because probably the market ran out. So, but you can see here, 650,000, a bunch of them here. So when it says on the site here that the sale price is this, it's wrong, which makes this wrong. Okay, so it doesn't mean that the site's trying to fake you out or doing anything wrong. It just means that the last time it grabbed the market data, it was way inflated. So, and that happens, especially when somebody comes in and says, "I don't give a crap about how much I'm paying for this stuff. I need it no matter what. I've got a mission I got to do tonight, and I got to have it, and I need 25 of them." So they pay an exorbitant amount. Good for whoever was selling it. Okay, we're going to continue on down here. Here's one that's 805. So the Navy Cap Booster 75. This seems a little suspect too, because cap boosters are typically not very good money. So we'll take a look at this, and let's look at here. So okay, in Jita, it's currently selling for 44,000. The buy orders are at 12,000. That's quite a disparity. So, and look at this. It doesn't scroll off the screen here. The market is just running really low on these right now, and maybe it's a good time. So let's look at the graph. Okay, so you can see here that generally they run 20K, 18K, or whatever. They've had a couple of blips up above. So right now the market is very dry, and it's up at 44,000. But if you look at this, by the time you get the stuff in here, so will everybody else who's watching this show right now will have gone and made the crap and put it on the market. So, if you have some right now that are waiting to be sold, now is the time to put them up. So, get them up right now and massage that price. So if the, if your order is sitting right here and a couple people jump in front of you, bump it back up. Keep checking it and make it one pisk lower, so that yours are selling. People don't have a choice, and so Anyway, there you go. This one, the time is right, and I've talked about this. So look at this. So at 20,000, 20,000 might be the right time on this, although it sits so close to that. And at 20,000 instead of 44,000 that it's going for right now, what would the amount be? So it's at 34, 38 ISK per LP, and at 20,000 it'd be half of that. So we'd be looking at about 1,600 LP, 1,600 ISK per LP. And so it's in the good range, like meaning that, you know, if you can get 1,500 LP or 1,500 ISK per LP, and you can do that really consistently, you're making a very good living. It's very good. So don't knock it. I'm not knocking it. I shoot for 2,000, but 2,000 is not always realistic in every circumstance. And and this right here, this is Caldari. So right now, with or this is Amar, I mean, and right now, Amar, the market is completely flooded. People have just overlooked the cap booster at 75, 75 size right now. So anyway, take advantage of that if you can. I don't know what the volume is that sells on these currently. You know, what is it? It's maybe 3,000 per day on average, something like that. So, and this will be a little wave here, and depending on how many people notice this is how much, you know, how long this will last. And so this is a really volatile type of market here, where it goes from 20K to 40K. It's not one that I would necessarily sit and wait on. I wouldn't necessarily post. This is a year-long timeline here too, so I wouldn't necessarily sit, you know, thinking, okay, I'm going to price my stuff at 30K and it'll eventually sell, because while there's this, you know, right here showing this, and we're in the midst of another one. This could be just a huge spike and go drop straight back down again. The overall pattern tells me it's not a good investment. I would like to see 3 of these in the last year. Then it's a good investment. And then how much will you sell during that time? So if 30K fell right where my cursor is, how many days is that? So maybe that's 15 days. And if there's 3,000 selling a day, you can probably sell 1,000 of them a day. So you could sell 15,000 of them. And so, you know, don't make more than 15,000 of them and put them on the market. And come on, it's not worth your time. Look at this. So at 30,000 times 15,000. So 30,000 times 15,000. 450 million for your work. It's kind of okay, but it's only 450 million. When you think about it, and you're tying up stuff, maybe you want another zero behind that. Maybe you want in 15 days to be at 4.5 billion. That's where I would think. Okay, so let's look at a few more items here and see what else is currently good in Amar. And so what kind of volume do I think I can get here? So off this one item, so in Amar, I think that maybe I can do, you know, 30, so 15, conservatively, maybe I could sell 15,000 of them at the rate of 1,600. It's not very good. It's not very good. It's not something I'm going to shoot for. It's still part of this depressed Amar market. Okay, let's go down here. Here's one that's 49. It's more implants. I suspect that if we looked that up, that it's not going to be that good. Let's go ahead and look it up. So, okay, so we've got somebody selling here 1.3 million. Actually, there's not a very big disparity. The buy orders are at 555,000. That's not very bad. Let's see what we're doing here. Okay, this one looks a lot better. I would be comfortable at 1.3 million. Let's see what the website says. Yep, it's just above 1.3 million. You could place it at 1.29 million and be competitive and sit there and see here in the market. I wish that I could zoom in on this a little bit better, but let's show the table instead. So here's the average prices for today: 1.25, 1.3, 1.3, 1.3. See, look at all these 1.3. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 of them in the last 15 days. 10 out of the last 15 days. It's been above 1.3 million. But the volume isn't very big. Look at these volumes here, people. 5 here, 9 here, 14 here, 23 here. It's not high volume. So this is one of those things that you can put on the market, and I probably wouldn't put more than about 50 or 100 of them. You won't sell that many in one of these spikes. So if we look at the graph here, you know, so you'll hit it here, 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 and here, and we're in another one right here. So, you know, yeah, I suppose you could do a couple hundred of them and then plan to sell over 6 months. And you probably will in that period of time. Now, you can put those in at 1.299 million and forget about them, because you can see by this graph here that it will hit this market again. That the amount here that's being shown, it will hit that. So it's hit that, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth time this year. So 5 times a year. So about, you know, once every 2 months. And so just make note to self, check the market when the days left on it is down to about, 30 days. 15 to 30 days, depends on how long you check it. You don't want it to expire. You don't want to lose your fees that you put up for the marketplace. And if it gets between 15 and 30 days left, then change it by 1 PISK, and it will reset that timer back to 90 days. And always post stuff at 90 days. It doesn't matter whether you post it at 1 day or 90 days. It costs the same amount to post it. The only time the price is different is when you choose immediate. So, okay, there's those. And see this person right here, that's the sweet spot, that's the price. He can sit there all day and keep selling them. And so now, a couple hundred of them, what are you going to make? 250 million. You know, not very much. So, you know, don't waste your time on it, on focusing on specifically this. This is kind of a secondary item that you might throw some of your LP into, but otherwise not. Now, to make these, what does it cost on the LP store? So it takes 375 LP per and 375,000 ISK. And so to make a couple hundred of them, you're going to be, what, 75 million, something like that. It's not very much. So, but you're going to have to tie that up. You're going to have to plan on tying that up for 6 months if you make a couple hundred of them.
Welcome to the Dragons.
Okay, Imperial Navy Radio M. It shows here at 2.463, 75
Welcome
volume.
to the Dragons.
I'm not so sure I believe that, because again, this one, when you buy 75 of this item, what does that matter? They're bullets. I mean, how many do people don't buy just 75 of them? Let's look at this. So 994,000. I don't know. Or they're crystals. I guess they don't. They're not bullets. They're crystals. So, okay, the volume here is maybe 100 or so per day. They're going for above 400,000 all the time. Right now they're in a spike. It looks like from this that maybe if you priced them at like 475,000 that you could hit that 4 or 5 times a year. They're at 900,000 right now. Now is the time that
Welcome
this is
to
a
the Dragons.
This is a once a year price. People are buying them, but it's a once a year price. I mean, look at this. So right here, it went nuts, and got up near $1 million. It looks like it's there right now again. It's not something that that you can count on all the time, though. So. And so that's at 900,000. How much did the site say it was selling for? 735,000. Okay, well, there's some people making over 3,000 ISK per LP right now. Anyway, the 700,000, I still think you only hit that once or twice a year. If you're willing to wait on it, but the volume is not huge. The volume is just not very big at all. So the volume, is 179 for yesterday, 63 for the day before, 54. These are less than $1 million each. It's another item that you put up and forget. You check it once every 2.5 months, and just leave it. Yeah, crystals aren't used up when you fire them, so that's what I realized. Okay, let's look just a few more items. Let's find something that actually has some volume to it. Wow, I'm down at 1,700. There's nothing with volume in it yet. 1,500, nothing with big volume in it yet. Here's 95. Yeah, and that's at 1,300. Here we go. Cap boosters. So Navy Cap Booster 50. The market's going nuts on those right now. They're only 14,000 each, and it says 5% of the volume is 13,000. So, but that's well below what we want to be at for this. So, okay, that is Amar. Now we're going to go to the other extreme, which is Minmatar. And so let's go in here, and Minmatar is the Tribal Liberation Force. Same settings on all of that. Then we're going to do the entries and this right here. Okay, now we're going to look for the first items with volume. Okay, so here is another one of these Zao Gypsy signature analysis. It might be actually the same thing that we looked at before. Navy Cap Boosters, 75. That's the same thing as before. And then this one's a little bit different. Republican Fleet Titanium Sabot L. So this one, 28,000. I believe this one. 28,986 sold as 5% of them. They're selling at 2,000 each. This is large ammunition. And let's go look at the marketplace on this. With that kind of number, it sounds like it's very plausible. And they are selling here 2,000. Their buy price is 924. By the way, stuff that's selling really, really low right now because the market is flooded with so much Amar stuff. If you don't play faction warfare, but you want to capitalize on this, recognize that Amar is flooded with their faction stuff right now, and that you can place buy orders out there and get the stuff pretty cheap, and then sit on it and wait for the price exactly the same way. So you might actually even make more money that way. It's possible for your time. So you just have to put more money in. Okay, let's look at the data right here. This actually isn't too bad. So, 30, 40, 50,000 sold in a day, 100,000 this day. And the average here, 2,000 yesterday, 1950 today. Look at this. But then it went 3 days in the 900s. And then it was back up in the 2000s again. So what does the graph look like? Yeah. So what does this graph tell you when you look at it? This graph tells you that that it doesn't fluctuate in price a whole bunch. And the reason it's showing so high on the chart right now is this increase right here. But how long will that really last? I don't think it's very long. And I don't think it's because Minmatar's been at tier 1 for so long. Unless what we've got now is people feeling sorry for Minmatar, kind of like I do, that say, okay, we're going to go and help them out. Hey, we need this shit. So there's more people maybe coming into the war now. I don't know. This dip right here might coincide with the big Corp that said they were leaving faction warfare on the Minmatar side. They were depressed, obviously. So, okay, this tells me that looking at this graph that maybe I want to be at about, 1 point, 1100K? 1100 or so? Maybe 12. Nah, 12 has only been above just
Welcome
a few times.
To the Dragons.
Just a few times. So I'd probably be at 1100 to feel safe about being able to sell. There'd be this big dry spell here, May to September, October. Big dry spell right there. But you would have sold great in the rest of the time. And so 1100, right now the prices are 2000. And if you happen to notice that you're selling like hotcakes and that nobody else is near your price, jack your price up. But typically it's like this. Everybody's close to each other. So, okay. On that one, I kind of like that one. So at 2000, it's reporting 2907 ISK per LP. So if we're actually saying that our target is probably, looking at the market, going to be 1100, we're taking away 30% of that. So we're going to be right at the 2000 mark, which 2000 is perfectly fine by me. So I think that's a good one. That's a buy right there. The Republican Fleet Titanium Sabot L. That is one you can convert right now and make, you could make good money at that. Yeah, if you have the Tribal Liberation Force stuff to convert. Hey, what do we got here? We got more ammo. More ammo that's doing well. Look at this, 158,000 on this one. This is small. So there's a lot more frigates that fight in faction warfare than in other stuff. And if you're using this kind of ammo, well, you can reduce your own cost by putting that ammo in. Oops, I accidentally copied a blank space. That doesn't work. Okay, so wow, there's not very much on the marketplace here of this. This is why it's going for a high price. Okay, so 896. There's just not very much here. 897. This is what it's truly selling at right now. Okay. Let's look at the price history. Ooh. You know what? This is sexy. I like this one. Here's why. Because if we called it 500,000, look at this. We could hit these peaks 4 times a year. Right now it's, yeah, but, okay, so 500,000. If we do the math on that, that's taking it down 40%. It's going to be in like the 1800 range. So maybe not. This 600,000, it's only hit it really twice in a year. I'm looking at the average, which is the green line. There are these spikes here, which you could count these, but it's a little bit more volatile to do that, and the volumes won't be quite the same. So when you look at this, the green line is a 20-day average. It's a lot better on that. So, but if we were to, look at this as where the spikes are and everything, and maybe not the...
Welcome to the Dragons.
Maybe looking at the 5-day average. Okay, so if we priced it at 600,000, we'd sell 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times in a year. That's still not bad, but 600,000 on this, The math isn't the greatest. So, because that's still a third off. It's around 2,000. It's 1,800, 1,900. So, yes. Okay, so, yeah, well, maybe. Okay, so you're right. Replenix posts, he says that, remember with Minmatar Faction Warfare, you can't get into JITA without an alt. Okay, let's look at what the price is outside of JITA. And so I'm going to make sure I have this in my clipboard. And I'm going to go into here. Tribal Liberation Force. Okay, let's see. Heck is in... somebody tell me what Heck is in. Is Heck in Metropolis? I don't remember. Well, yeah, Renz and Heck are not real trade hubs. I understand this. We could look in Amar. Amar is kind of far away, though. Helmatar?
Welcome to the Dragons.
Yeah, here it is. You're right. I think that's it. Okay, so now we're going to look for those, and I'm going to see here. That was the small. Ooh, look at that. I think we just pointed out, I think that Replenix just pointed out something really important. That while you may sell those at JITA, they're paying a much higher price for them at JITA because it's not their home ground. It might be the biggest place for selling stuff, but it's not home ground. And so if people are willing to go over to Heck, then the conversion is 1,198 ISK per LP. And so now it may go higher than that, based upon whatever the market is at right now, but not quite as good. Not quite as good. So thanks for bringing that up. Okay, we're going to go the Forge again. Is it under? Yep, there it is. Okay, well, we're getting down here. So here's Proton. Yeah. I think that right now we're looking at that we've busted the idea that because Minmatar is so depressed right now that their market, that their prices are going to be, that we're going to earn fantastic amounts on it. Because I'm not seeing that. So, okay. So, yeah, I'm not seeing a whole lot of good stuff here. So the prices are getting too low. So Minmatar, they're sucking all the way around. Okay. Now let's look at Caldari. So Caldari is also at 1 right now. Caldari is State Protectorate. And this is home station for Caldari. So, okay. 25, more of these. Yeah. Caldari Navy Small Shield Extender, 12 of them at 5%. I don't know. I think somebody was probably foolish to pay that much. Caldari Navy. These are drones. Let's look at. I can't think that a whole bunch of these sell. I think I was actually looking at these the other day. So the Caldari Navy Shield Extender. Okay, this is interesting. So this was probably here on the first half of the year was good times, earning lots of LP, and then they've been down to 1 here, and so they've had some spikes here. I kind of like this line here, like it's 6 million. That looks like I could sell. I have a chance to sell multiple times in a year. And so that looks pretty good. But what is the actual number that it was saying? Oh, 6 million. Okay. Let's look at what the volumes are, though, on this, because I'm not so sure how popular this is. Let's show the table. So the volumes here, 30, 10, 20, 3, 3, 6, 29. The average price being 6 million here just a few times. Normally this is down. It looks like it's normally down in the 3 million range. At 3 million, it's not worth it. At well, yeah, actually it is. Actually it is. Look at that. So 3 million would be half price, and that'd still be at 2,500. That makes me think. Because I mean, look at this. What if we priced it at 3 million? How often would you sell? Look at that. All day long, every day. You would sell almost every single day at 3 million. And, granted, the volumes are not real high, but apparently these are worth 3 million. Yeah, if you wanted to do 4 million, you would be selling 60% of the time. You would sell less. See, and that's another thing too. You got to figure in volumes. So, if you can sell, let's just say that your cost for each one of these is $1 million, and you can sell 10 of them a day at 3 million. You've made 20 million in profit. But if you put it at 4 million, and you average, say, selling 6 a day, which is less than 10, but you're selling at a higher price. So 6 a day, and the other one was 20 million, so 6 a day, and so 6 times 3, and so that's 24. No, 18. So you would make more money selling them at 3. You'd make more profit per day selling them at 3 million than you would at 4 million. Does that make sense? So because at 3 million and you sell 10 a day, you make 20 million in profit a day. And at 4 million, but only selling 6 a day, you're making 18 million in profit. So maybe the sweet spot is like 3.5, and then maybe you'll mark it up to, then maybe you'll sell, instead of, 10 a day, you'll sell 8 a day, and you'll make just a little bit more money than you would have before, but you'll still sell consistently. So that's why some people play with price. Why sometimes you see some websites will have one price and then you go back and they have another price. It's because they're testing to see if they can move more volume and thus make more profit daily off of an item, as opposed to just having a good price all the time or whatever. So there's a whole thought in that. And sometimes some places you go, they sell it at a higher price, and it's because they don't want to touch the stuff, and when they do, they want it to be worth their time. So these are a buy. I would put a buy on these. I would put these out there, no problem. And I'd put them out. I think that, thinking about this, probably around the 3.5 million range. And so, the low, the high, the average here. And I think that they would sell quite well at the 3.5 million. And so you can put them up, and you don't have to worry about them. And they're just gonna continue to sell. So there's not very much competition in this either. Now there's not a huge demand, but there's not very much competition in it either. So maybe there will be now that I've mentioned it. Who knows? Okay, I like those. Those look good. 22 Caldari Navy Wasp. I believe that's a a drone. Yes, it is a drone. They're selling in station for 5.7 million right now. They're being purchased at 4 million buy orders. That's pretty interesting. Really? The buy orders are 4 million. So, what did I say they were? 5.7 million? Yeah, they're even up higher. So, 5.7 million. That's a 4,600 ISK per LP. Let's look at what the price history looks like on this. I want to see the graph first. This graph, okay, so there's a shortage going on right now, but this shortage is not a typical thing. Look at this. This is a whole year-long graph. If you price your stuff, look at this. If you priced your stuff right up here at 5 million, you may have to sit on them a whole year before you sell any more. And what's the volume of them? Well, let's find out. 300, 471. Actually, this is really good. This is really good. Think about this. So if there's 471 of them sold yesterday, and you had these at 5 million or whatever, you were the lowest price out there, and you sold 471 of them. That's 2.3 billion. You could make a lot of money on this. You could make some serious money on this. So what does it take to manufacture these? So you need WASP 1s, 5 million. So you need 5 of those because it converts 5 at a time, and 5 million. So you're looking at the LP, which I personally put at 2,000, because that's what I can normally make. And then this, the 5 million, so they're a million each. And the cost of the items, these little wasps, which they're not very much, 192,000 each. Yeah, I think this one is a very good buy right now. And this is all part of being willing to wait and being willing to not feel the need to sell right away. So these right here, if you could wait, hold on to them. Think about this. We're doing smalls right now, tier 4. They're 43,750 on a small. Almost everybody can do a small. Almost everybody has skills to do a small. So let's times that by the number they've got right here, which is 4,630. That is the equivalent of 202 million per small. If I'm out working on my own and I'm bouncing site to site to site in the right sector, and I'm not being stream sniped, I'm not, trying to do fleet stuff or whatever, I can do 3 of these an hour. Sometimes 4, if you're really good at it. Well, not quite 4, but I can do 3. So times 3. So we're looking at 606 million per hour if you're willing to wait. Okay, so think about that a little bit. We're doing all this work right now. We're talking about how much money you can make in-game to plex your accounts. At 870 million, 870 divided by 606 is 606, is it 606 divided by 870? No, I'm doing my math wrong. 870 divided by 606. Yeah, so if it's 870 million for a Plex right now, and you're able to convert these, and you're able to sell, 100 of them a day, 500 million, you're able to get enough days on that, and be in the lead, you're looking at 1.4 hours of work to Plex your account for 30 days. Conceivably, let's see here. Conceivably, you could in one day Plex, what, 6 months, 5 months worth of your account in one day of work? If you're willing to sit on the stuff. Yeah. Okay, so Bonsai Bart says you need to consider whether or not the items are useful or not, but that the wasp example is an item that no one uses. I disagree. Here's why. Look at these quantities. 300 today, 471 yesterday, 94 the day before, 120, 240, 447. And so basically this one, I personally would dump money into this. Well, Damien, actually, you can make 600 million per hour every day if you are really smart about it. This item right here is just one of hundreds of items that you can identify that have this kind of pattern. And so you look at all of this stuff here, and you can find other items that peak a couple times a year. So let's just say that you wanted to, let's just say that going to make enough to 400 million an hour. Well, maybe instead of, the 5.7 million, you place it at 4 million. Even at that, it's going to hit it twice in a year, 3 times, hits it right here, not on a 5-day average, not on a 20-day average. So if you can hold on to that product, you just don't want to buy too much. If there was if nobody used these, nobody would buy them. If nobody bought them, there wouldn't be these volume numbers in here. So it's not a high volume item. And it may be that the people that are buying them just don't know what the hell they're doing. That is possible. So, okay, so what else have we got here? We've got the blouse. These clothing, I've seen a few of these go some pretty ridiculous prices, and I don't quite get it. So it says here that one is 5%. I don't even know. The clothing stuff is hit and miss, because the clothing stuff, I did it in my conversion where I tried to do the stuff within 30 days, and I had 2 items that were worth 250 million each, I think they were. And one of them sold, and then another one, a whole bunch of people came into the market and placed a bunch of stuff, and I was like, it ain't never gonna sell. And so I sold one for like 250 million, and I sold another one for, 80 million, something like that. And I thought I was gonna make bank. Well, half a bank. So this is interesting, but I don't know if I believe the numbers. See, look at this. On the scale here, 1. So in the last year, what, 30 of them have sold? Yeah, there's not very many. This is a product you'll sit on for a very long time. And if somebody is an idiot and comes in and makes 100 of these damn things, the market is going to be depressed for a very long time. So while this looks really sexy, looks really good, because there's only 4 for sale here in Jita, and if that female character wants to be looking, business casual or whatever this is, maybe military, nice ass, maybe military, then maybe. But I think that this is going to be a really low seller, and I wouldn't put more than 1 or 2 of them on the market. And gosh, well, at 559 million, okay. So what does it cost to make? So it's costing 100 million and 100,000 LP. So if you were able to convert on other stuff and average of 2,000, 2,000, that's 2 million worth of LP. Is that 100,000 times 2,000? Am I doing my math right? I gotta check myself. Sometimes I doubt myself. So, $200 million. So your cost into this, you got to think about this. Your cost into this, because you know you can convert other items at 2,000 ISK per LP. So your cost on this is going to be 300 million tied up in one item that you're going to place out there, and somebody else could come in and destroy the market because they don't understand it. They're just like, holy shit, I'm gonna make so much on it. I'm gonna make 100 of them, and then I'm gonna be rich. Yeah. So at the 600 million, it's hit this once. I think you're looking more like 400 million. So 300 million to 400 million. So you'd be making, you can still make more on this. Because even at 300 million or 400 million, you'd still be making an extra 100 million in profit based off of this, and so you'd be at 3,000. If I'm doing my math right in my head, you'd be at 3,000 ISK per LP. But likelihood is you're going to sell 3 of them, maybe 5 of them a year. And there's always going to be people that come in and undercut you, and you look at it and you go, oh my God, they're undercutting me. I'm never going to sell these things. Well, there's not a whole lot of these out here. Just wait. But if somebody comes in and posts 100 of them and they put them at 300 million because they're idiots, you're going to be forced to go in at like 299 because there's not going to be 100 of them sold in the next year. If you want your money, you're going to have to hold it long term or not. And if you're a seller, you know that you only have so many items that you can sell. And are you willing to tie up a spot for a year for this money? Because you may be able to tie it up with something else that makes you a lot more money because you sell a lot more of them every day. When you say it's a shame that Caldari is only at tier 1 right now, this is why the prices are higher right now. Because it's only at tier 1, there's not as much LP being generated out of faction warfare on there. And so they are able to make more ISK per LP, but the difference between how much LP they get on each successful action compared to like when it's tier 4 or something like that, it really pays to go to the MR side and fight there, because you're making 5 times as much, and you're not making 5 in LP, and you're not making 5 times as much on each LP when you convert it. So this is really maybe 1.5, maybe 2 times as much, and so maybe it's the equivalent of being tier 2. I don't know. There's some other implants here, and the stuff that has Caldari in the name can only come from Caldari. So you won't have the other LP stores getting into this. Here's another shield. This one, 19 million, 2 of them in the last month. It's over 4,000. This actually looks a lot better than Minmatar's stuff. A lot better. So, question: if I'm an Amar faction warfare and I get LP and Caldari Plex, do I get Amar LP or Caldari LP? You get Amar. So you get it for which side you're in. So, okay, so let's go look up this item here. And it's true, they're selling for 19 million. There's not a whole lot of them here. Is there much demand? Whoa, that's kind of a strange looking graph. Actually, there is a little bit of demand. Okay, so you can see here, I wish the scale were a little bit higher. That like this right here, somebody was an idiot and paid like 90 some million for one of them or some crap like that. So here, kind of looking at the line here, where is it going to fit? I mean, really 15 million is kind of be the sweet spot where you can hit it 2 or 3 times a year. And 15 million on that, what would that do to this? So that would take a quarter off of the earnings. So that'd be at 3,000 LP, ISK per LP. I would say that's acceptable. And let's see what kind of volumes are selling every day. So actually it's not too bad. So think of this, if you could sell, so we've got 15, 30, 13, 35, 15, 24, 19. So let's just say you could sell 5 of them a day at 15 million, getting the 3,000. Actually, you would be the only one selling right now, unless other people were willing to come down. If you were at 15 million right now.
Welcome to the Dragons.
15 million would be 75 million a day that you would be bringing in from that. And how often? Maybe 60 days out of the year. So that's is that 45 billion? Did I do my math wrong? So 15 times 5, no. That's 4.5 billion in a year. And and if I think you do 5 for 60 days, so you would buy 300 of them, manufacture 300 of them, it'd be worth 4.5 billion. You put them on there, plan on selling them out over a year. That's what I would do. So you'd only make 300 of them, because you got to figure that in, because you could go out and you go nuts, go look at all this money I'm going to make, and maybe you get in there and they do sell faster than what you expected. Fine, go make more. You don't have to use your LP. You can save your LP and use it whenever the market time is right. So, okay, Caldari Navy Vespa. Are they going to ride a moped? I don't even know what a Vespa is in the game. Is that a ship? What is that? There's actually a lot of stuff in here for Caldari Navy. It is. It's a ship. No, it's a drone. It's a combat drone. Okay. Yes, built out of Legos, no doubt. Take a look at that. Okay, so it's kind of high right now. It's up at 4 million. It looks like it hits 3.25 million. Might be an aggressive number. 3.25 million. And what kind of numbers are selling of these? Oh, not bad. Well over 100 a day, sometimes over 200. So at 3.5 million, actually in the last in the last 20 days, you would have sold some every single day, and you could maybe sell 30 to 40 of them. Say 30 times 3.5. So it'd be 105 million a day. Yeah, that wouldn't be too bad. This is another one that looks kind of good to me. There's not a whole lot on the market here. The market is really, really low right now, especially when some days they sell over 200. And so I could see this being wiped out pretty quickly. So, and that's at 3.9. And at 3.25 would reduce that by 20%. So 20% off of that would still be like 3,200 ISK per LP. That's another one that looks really good. So these are just the things that you wait for and see the markets. So and you can look back at if we were looking back into MAR stuff, we would see that some stuff used to sell for higher, and that now it's not, and it's because they're in tier 4 right now. But you can kind of count on that as being what it's going to be like whenever a MAR is not in such a strong position. And I don't know what the hell's going on with the whole Minmatar MAR thing. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. It's just crazy to see that they have lost their standing completely. You know, it still shows them as 0.2. It still shows that one thing lost. I don't know how long it takes being lost before, before it actually shows up. So, yeah, tomorrow, I guess that's going to be a 0%. Sad. Okay, let's look at Galante. It's the last one. And so Galante is the Federal Defense Union. Let's see here. Federal Defense Union. Hit that. Okay, so change that to 100. By the way, there is also Daupa's site that also does some of this conversions. If you prefer to use that site, there's a couple of sites that actually will give you this information. So, okay, Federal Defense Union. You know, these things are just outrageous. No volume in them. Here's one. See, it's this other implant. 25 of them. I don't know if I believe that. So here we go. Navy cap boosters again. The 75s, absolutely amazing. I don't know if the other cap boosters, like let's look at let's look at like the 800s, which are really a good, you know, they're a high dollar amount. Okay, so they went up here for, you know, 225K. What would the average be? You know, maybe 200K here would be a good place. You could, you know, be pretty solid along there. And there's good volumes here. You know, they're selling an average of, I don't know, 25,000 of them a day. That's not too bad. But you know, 200 and you know, 200K, and so that's the Navy Cap Booster 800. And let's see, where is it? Navy Cap Booster 800. See, at 200,000, you're only making 902. 902 ISK per LP, and even when it hit up here, so that's at 200, and so even up here, it's never in the last year hit that. So what we're seeing on the Navy Cap Booster 75s is not indicative of what these do in general. You know, just looking at these, see, they have a couple of spikes, but they're just not big enough. There happens to be a shortage in the market right now of that, and I think it's a rare anomaly. Maybe the 75 side's getting overlooked, or maybe, you know, some Corp out there, they're fitting a whole bunch of ships that need 75s, and they've been buying them for the last couple of months. I don't know. Looks kind of suspect to me. Not something that that I would get into. So, okay, let's look for Some more stuff here. Okay, so Federation Navy Tungsten S. This looks pretty good. The volume's pretty good. But they don't sell for very much, so you're not going to make a huge amount of money. And they're going to sit for a long time. So you'll sell a little bit at a time. This has got good volume on it. And so it looks like this Federation ammo is probably a pretty good buy. And what is it selling for right now? No, it's not. There's only 4 sellers in here. Oh my God, 951. So it's up in the 900 range. It really looks like if you did it in the 700 range or 650, 650 would be better, but 700 range, you could count on it. It's at 951, so 700 range is going to bring this down to about 2,300. So even if you took it all the way down to, you know, the 650 that I was saying, you'd still be at 2,000. So that's a good conversion, and that would be pretty steady actually. So 650, you're going to hit that multiple times a year, have quite a steady seller. And how many of these are selling a day? I mean, 10,000, 11,000, 2,000, 1,000, 0. The market must have run out. That's interesting. That's really interesting. And so, you know, I think it looks, look at that, it's run out a few times. Somebody could capitalize on this market. So, let's see here. Okay. So that's a thumbs up. That's a buy on these ammos. So here we go to energized kinetic membrane. What is that? Oh, that's only one sold. Federation Navy Iridium Charge S. I think that maybe all of these, you know, faction named items could pay off like this. So let's even look at something here. Let's look at another Federation thing. You know, this one's at 22. Let me see here. Here, this one's at 19. Let's look at this to see what the history is on it, that if maybe it's just a little bit lower right now. Because it's at 2,000, which, you know, looks kind of good. And so, look at this. What the hell? Okay, you guys see this here? Woo, stop. Look at this. This guy right here is selling them at 778, and the next guy is at 13.99. Dude, put your shit at 13.98 and make all that more money. Just saying, you're missing the boat there by not paying attention to what's going on. Okay, so price history. Let's look at the graph. The graph here says that 1,200 actually looks at a spot where you'd sell almost all the time. 1,250. 1,250 is the sweet spot. So 1,250. Yeah, it's actually got a price at 1,400. You're going to make 1,500 ISK per LP on that. Not very good. Okay, so to get that 1920, it's got to be at 1,450. And at 1,450, it's all the way up here. You're going to sell sometimes on a little bursts. Not a lot. What kind of volume will you have? Let's look. Oops, wrong button. So 1,000, 1,500, 6,000, 5,000. There's not a lot of these sold. 110,000. That's probably one person coming in and stocking up for a while. And so you might come in after somebody buys 110,000 of them and you know, kind of clean up. So yeah, I don't know that that this would be a good one to deal in. I think it's a little bit chancy. So, Okay, well, I think though that we kind of gone over this and that we have a good case study of how to use this. And Galante is not exactly depressed right now. They're at tier 2, but it's not bad either. I think there's good money to be made, especially if you put it into the ammunition. And so I'm going to go out and spend my 500,000 LP tonight on some stuff. And so, yeah, hey, Rolla says, Markee, that's a market error. Okay, well, anyway, so I'm not, looking at the history though, that yes, it's a little bit high, and that's why I'm being a little bit skeptical on it. But overall, the ammunitions seem to be where you can get a good amount on that. So, okay, well, that is good. So that is it, and that is it for today, I think, folks. We'll be back again on Wednesday. We're not gonna have a Friday show, so I'll be here Wednesday, Thursday, and then Saturday, and we shall get out more faction warfare. I see that Rollas is here. Rollas, I'm going to come in and talk to you in just a second, and so that is it for today. But we're going to see, maybe we're going to focus a little bit on the other side of faction warfare next week, at least one day, and see what's over there to do. So hopefully you make a whole bunch of LP and you convert it into a whole bunch of ISK, and so you can buy all kinds of shiny ships so that we can fight each other and blow each other up in our shinies. Take care, everybody.
Don't